All right. Hello to 6th period stats. This is an impromptu video that I'm doing off the cuff because I fly out tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. to head down to Orlando to get things ready, and then you guys follow up in about 2 days. I'm pumped about it. We're going to get away from school, have a blast. As a Harry Potter fan myself, actually as one of the biggest Harry Potter fans that I have ever encountered, let me give myself some credit. I am pumped to go back to Harry Potter World. I haven't been since 2009, so I'm excited for senior trip. But the reason I made this video is it's going to be about 10 minutes long, and it's just to explain what the assignment is that you're going to be working on today. And then for some of you, you might have to spend some time on it outside of class as well. And so let me show you where to go and give you a few tips. I wasn't going to make this video until in 3rd period there were so many questions. I was like, okay, let me make a short video. So our assignment for stats in 6th period, we're going to go to assignments, and it's called Experiments and Observations Practice. And honestly, everything that you need is right here. But as you can see, it's pretty lengthy, and so I just want to break down some of the key components for you guys. So the assignment has 4 parts. Part number 1, you will submit as one document, and then parts number 2 and 3 kind of go together. And then part 4 you will not turn in, but this is what we'll go over and present some of our findings to the class, not as like an official presentation, but almost as like a conversation to help us review for the test. So let's talk about part 1. For the last few days, we've been reading, experiments and observational studies. And now we want to, one more time, try to build an experiment from a series of short prompts that has the same elements. So what we're going to do is there is an attached worksheet here. And I gave you 3 different prompts on this worksheet. And then all you're going to do is talk about your treatments, your controls, any blinding or blocking, and measurements. So let me click this document and show you what I mean. Experiment number 1. You want to determine whether reading at home or in class helps a group of freshman and sophomore students score higher on the exam. So that is the prompt. Okay, you don't have to make up your own for this activity. This right here, I'll make it a little bigger, is the prompt. And then you're going to go through who are the subjects. Okay, let's answer that. Who are the factors? What are the factors? Excuse me. What are some of the controls? What are some of the treatments? What's the response variable? Is there any blocking or blinding that's needed? Let's draw a diagram of the study. And then number 2, notice there's then a different scenario. You want to determine the effects that daily Bible reading and a good breakfast have on Wheaton Academy students' enjoyment of chapel. How would you do that? And then the 3rd one, you want to determine whether combinations of ibuprofen and caffeine makes the average WA teacher more efficient at grading essays or grading stats projects. So there's your 3 experiments. I want you to choose 2. You don't have to do all 3, but choose 2 of these and break them down. It's going to help you with your vocab. And I just want to remind you, because 3rd period was asking a few questions. If you wanted to make a study to see if makeup, I made this up in 3rd period today, if makeup causes acne, then your factor is kind of your explanatory variable. That would be makeup. Your response variable, I do it in this order when I'm creating my experiment. Your response variable is acne. And so in the middle, you're going to have treatment, and then you're going to have some different controls. What are the difference in these? So if your factor is makeup, your treatment is how are you going to incorporate makeup into an experiment with your subjects. So for example, the treatment might be no makeup. These might be your treatment groups. You have a no makeup group. You might have like a 5 milligrams a day of makeup. I don't know, 5 ounces a day. I don't know makeup very well, but you get the idea. And then maybe 10 milligrams a day of makeup. That those are your treatment groups that you'll be able to measure to ultimately see if makeup has an effect on acne levels, which we could chart another way at the end of the study, right? The controls, are there any things that you can control that you would want to make sure all of your subjects do equally, right? So controls might be when is it applied, might be a control that you'd want all of them to do, like apply it at the same time each morning and take off each night. Brand of makeup, right? You wouldn't want to buy someone like a really expensive brand and someone a cheap brand because they might have different, chemicals in there. So maybe brand would be something you would control. And then blinding and blocking. Blinding is just not telling your subjects what's going on. You wouldn't want to tell them, hey, we're testing for acne in these makeup levels, because then they're going to wash their hands, they're going to wash their face, they're not going to put as much on. You just want to make sure the study is blind. But then the blocking, you can control certain things, but blocking are things you can't control. So what are variables that might affect this that we can't control for? I think gender, I think men and women's skin might react differently. I think ethnicity might have a different response to acne, and I think age. I think those would be three things that you would want to incorporate into your study and separate those out so that you don't get data that is skewed. So that's just a real quick kind of makeup study. And then you're drawing the diagram, right? You got your subjects. Okay. Maybe you split them up, male, female. Maybe we go, young, old. Okay. And then from the male and female, then you're going to go makeup, no makeup, makeup, no makeup, makeup, no makeup, makeup, no makeup. Actually, there were three. There were two people with makeup. You get what I'm saying. And then you'll go down and measure. This is a horrible diagram, but I'm doing this fast. You would go down, and then they would all do some sort of post-evaluation where you measure their acne levels, right? So your diagrams can be hand-drawn, or you can use boxes on Word, and they don't have to be amazing, but you're also going to get a chance to look at an example of one shortly. So that is part one of this assignment. You will do a couple of those. That's step one. Step two, this is where, this is awesome. This is straight up a college kind of project right here. And before you've grown, so much of college is doing research, analyzing professional studies, making conclusions, etc., especially stats and any sort of science or math course. So notice step two, read the attached article. Notice it's right down here. And look at how these professionals design their experiment. This one's going to be awesome. I'll open it in a second. But we wanted to note, Mr. Regan and I were chatting, this is a tough article. Okay, this is not on a third grade reading level. It's not, we just mentioned Harry Potter earlier. Harry Potter, I enjoy it so much because it's middle grade. It just can roll off the tongue. This is a scholarly article, but we've got to get better at reading scholarly articles. And so it's going to take a while to read. I encourage you to take some notes and highlight parts of this study. And after you read it, or as you are reading it, I recommend as you are reading it, you are going to complete this third sheet. So this is the article. Let me open that in a new tab. And then this is the worksheet that you're going to use. Let me open that in a new tab. So here's the article. Look how crisp that looks. The New England Journal of Medicine. Okay. What is the study about? It is about weight loss, and it's tested 3 different diets: a low-carb diet, a Mediterranean diet, or a low-fat diet. And look at that team of PhD and MDs who have been working on this. This is awesome. In the beginning of a lot of good studies, you have what's called an abstract. And honestly, in the 2021 version, for all you people who live on Reddit, the abstract is kind of like the TLDR. Too long, didn't read. It gives you a really quick one-page summary. Background, methods, results, conclusions. Boom. There's the survey. There's the study, excuse me. But if you scroll, oh my goodness, here's what we've talked so much about. Convince me. Why is this study important? The why, the 6 W's. Some of us just skip right over that. Sell it for a second. Then what were your methods? We got some methods. What are the different diets? Let me skip ahead. Ooh. These are just some basic characteristics of their population that they pulled from. It shows you their age, their weights, some of their body types and biomarkers. Some amazing data here. Ooh, we've got our first look at someone else doing a diagram. It tells you their timeline, when they screen people, who did it. Notice the word randomization is huge. They split 104 into the low fat, 109 into the Mediterranean, 109 into the low carb. This is incredible. They go into all these different things. There's their measurements. Look, we got p-value citing. Hello, I told you it's important. Okay, there's just some amazing stuff. And I want you, and then not last but not least, look at that view. That is an amazing graph. You all can make that. You all make amazing graphs. Long story short, I want you to look at this and just look at what a professional study looks like. It's only 13 pages long, and the last page is all sources. So it's actually 12 pages long. You're like, 12 pages? I mean, there are experiments out there that are books long. So this is a great one for you to dip your toe into the deep end. While you're going through that, you will use this. That's just another link to the same thing. And you will define, what are these? 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 Did they do any blocking or blinding? And then lastly, draw a diagram. You don't have to copy their diagram. Kind of, be a little less specific, but just do a sketch of the diagram. And then how are the results communicated, and how are significant results identified? How did the study communicate their results to the world, and how do they know it was significant? You might throw in some p-value stuff there. Okay, so that is part 2, and I don't want you to rush that. I want you to spend some time in that article because it's intense and you can learn a lot. And then lastly, this is the part that we will carry into Tuesday and Wednesday when we get back to help us review for the test. You are going to go to this link, and it takes you to a database of a bunch of articles. Some incredible articles. And you're just going to type something in the search. I was just messing around earlier and I typed basketball in. And it took me to a bunch of studies. And then you can choose. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to analyze. And I want you to use this document here. And I want you to break down the study. But here's my one hint. And I will close the video with this. The first one that I clicked on was this because I saw something about injury and illness. And I thought, oh, that'd be good. So I clicked it. And it took me to the abstract, which is the little TLDR, the summary. But notice, it was just a paragraph. So that got me worried. I was like, where's all their treatments and different things? This is an observational study. Okay, so I want you to be careful when you're choosing, and I want you to choose one. I then scroll down to number 5. Look at the difference in this abstract and the one that you saw. This one has context, objective, design, setting, patients, measures, results, conclude. This is an experiment, talking about the differences in the muscle architecture and increased rate of injury in NBA players. An amazing study. Look at all those beasts who are on it. That's going to be you all one day, and I can't wait. Okay? So that is a summary of what we're doing today. I encourage you in class, I would try to finish that first worksheet, do your 2 study breakdowns, then spend the rest of your time really sifting through that professional article, the one from the New England Journal of Medicine, and answering the questions that are in the worksheet. And if you have time, go start looking for your own study on a topic that you're interested in. Use the search bar and answer those questions. Notice you will present your analysis. It says after spring break. We meant after senior trip. And it's going to be hard, but it's going to be great. You guys rock. I hope this video was helpful. If you're still unsure, we tried to be as detailed as possible in these descriptions, and there's the links. So I hope you all find success. You can just work independently. This is not a group project. This is by yourself. Put in some headphones and get after it. And I'll see you in Florida. I'll see you in the sun. Have a great day.